Wassail, Capricorn, Wassail, Capricorn. So, Capricorn, we're doing Sedna. Who is Sedna? She's the Inuit goddess who, in her transformation to a deity, she became kind of queen of the oceans, but also she controls all mammals. And she's been coming through because we've been having some dead, I've been calling them walruses, but I suspect they're Galapagos sea lions, in truth. So 2 of them turned up dead, well, one first and a second. They were buried in the sand, and then the next morning another one appeared. And so they left it, and then this morning another one appeared. So that's 4 now, over 6 days, in an ocean, all turning up right in front of where we're staying. So, Sedna is coming through as a frequency. And so I did a little bit of reminding myself about Sedna. Remember, Sedna's orbit is 11,408 years around the sun. And when Sedna was in Capricorn was just before the start of the Common Era, so 24 BCE, and then Sedna was in Capricorn for 1,017 years until 1047 in the Common Era. So we're looking at the first 1,000 years. And with the readings I've done so far, sometimes Sedna's kind of drawing attention to what she meant then, or sometimes it's about what's going on right now within the relationship of that sign. And sometimes it's like an energy where there's a sort of a bridge pattern going across between them. But we'll just see. I have no idea what Sedna might like to say to you. And I like that. So, I'm not having that one. That was quite violent for a gentle leaf unfurling. I need to get the question out before they go jumping. Let's rifle them again. I might, if we don't get the answer during these 12 readings, I might have to do a separate one and go, what's with all the dead sea mammals? Because it's very unique. Everyone here says it's not happened before. There's been a giant turtle. But this is 4. And they're all right outside. So, Sedna. I'm not doing ones a turn. They got a fall. Sedna. Oh, look, I've damaged one. Can't wait to get my proper deck. So, Sedna, what do you want to say to Capricorn? Let's have like an opening statement of energy and see where we can get with it. Sedna, Sedna, Capricorn. Sedna, Sedna. Oh, look. Oh, this is a long one. This, look, we've got Hegal and we've got Yana. This has been, you've been weathering the weaving for a very long time. Not you. Well, yeah, you too. But what I mean is whatever Sedna was doing all that time ago, 1,000+ years ago, it was setting up some kind of, I want to say sifting to entwine is the energy that I'm getting from this. It's also 959. Hagal is 9. Yana is 59. So we're looking at this point at which there's a mirroring going on, but a mirror to change something, to transform something. So we have got this energy here of creation. So we've got that energy of Athumbla, the holy cow. we've got that notion of the static, the static notion of what the cosmos is created from, and in the Norse case that's the giant Ymir. We've got this sense of ice, and that's absolutely key with Othumbla licking the salt rime to have creation. But there's something new now coming from the salt rime, something that is worth twining to, yarning to. So we've got the energy here of Frigg and her distaff, and I am being shown Orion's belt because Frigg in Norse mythology was the constellation that we call Orion's belt. I guess with a few changes. There's harp, plucking of harps. So there's something within that about harmonics, touching half a string. So on a harp, when you're playing, you pluck the string. If you want to play a harmonic, which is to make a sound that's much higher and more like a very strange metallic bell, you actually pluck the string at a different place, but using this bass part of the hand, you lightly stop the string at the halfway mark. So that creates a loop that brings things into this higher harmonic octave. And so there's something of that energy of this higher harmonic that's quite interesting, because actually in the last few days I've been digging into a lot of different things in the cosmos, and I always get a bit narked if I'm honest, when people say, you know, this planet's the higher octave of that planet. But this really is about a higher octave. This is about a different kind of harmonic frequency, but it doesn't, it's like when I'm doing the sound healing, I can sing the note in my throat and I allow the cavities inside my head to open and compress sound to make the harmonics. There's something about this new harmonic entwinement that you're heading towards has to take place, but still with the sustained presence of your voice in physical reality. This isn't something that you just do spiritually, and that's also become a very important message currently. This is no longer just a mental journey. And in many ways, the mental aspect of a spiritual journey has been important, but now we're in air epoch, since the great mutation in 2020, into the air signs for the next 200 years. There is a sense that the mental processes are present by the very nature that they're the dominant element. There's something here about the need to readdress the physical, because remember the previous 200 years, Earth was the dominant, and so that meant the physical part of our body, our cells, that's what was taking the dominance. And so we're switching now to a mental dominance, a consciousness dominance, but that will take care of itself. What we've really got to do now is soothe our physical bodies somehow. There's a lot of, I know people call it ascension symptoms, but I would prefer to think of it as dimension symptoms, because there's all this time and dimensions open at the moment, and we're all drifting and switching between these dimensions. And I think for a lot of us, we've spent a lot of time on our spiritual journeys ensuring we have the right mindset for this transformative frequency, and we've been neglecting our physical form. So this is very much about, maybe the consciousness is twining your consciousness to your body for the first time. Maybe that's the energy of these first two cards. So let's see what else we get. Oh, we've got Man. So just 1, 20. Man. Now this is a journey. There's something about this card at the moment that was never there when I was making parts of it with people. It just didn't show up, but it's doing this feeding loop back on yourself. It's currently talking, I mean, look, if you put it next to what it's coming after, the yana, it's almost the string that you're pulling is coming up to yourself. You're feeding that energy right the way down back to the yana rune, which is bringing the energy back up. And this second time, we're joining in with more and more of the collective. There's a greater sense of humankind becoming woven in. Is this about you weaving yourself back into the world, perhaps, Capricorn? So, Capricorn, 77, Hamfereld, the journey home. This is sacral. This is the energy of all of the different strings. This is what you're doing. You're working your way through the string theories. You're rewiring dimensional realities. And you've got to somehow bring all of that conscious thought that we just talked about through your physical body. And that will allow some kind of separation here that's, it's like the rainbow effect. It's almost, the energy I'm getting is softening. You see, now that's interesting as well. I was going to say softening the blaze within your chakras, as we so often call them, but your energy centers. So softening the blaze of them. It's almost like we've had to tune them up too brightly just to kind of find a home, a base to keep them in when they want to keep moving to other places. This is talking about softening it. It's talking about, like when I talk to you about when I go in the sea and I go off to the other place, whether it be Sirius or whatever, I'm not sure, but every time I go there, when the light clicks, the colors of the real world soften and the air thickens. So the sun becomes particularly much more like a soft straw yellow. It doesn't have that glare that it has in the normal 3D world that we exist in. So there's something here about beginning to weave in yourself to yourselves. More and more you've got to feed that energy through relationships, encounters with people in humanity. And then you've got to focus all of those strings through your physical cells to come out the other side. So let's just see where is it going? Where's it going? Capricorn, where's it going? Ripien, ripen. This is a growing up process. Sublime things improve with time. Some reach their fullest bloom, immature, with so much room to still fine-tune their burgeoning maturation. Empathy overwhelms and bursts shadows, unearthing a wounded, star-crossed child. Then wisdom leaves, ripped by a sudden breeze and blown off course. To ripen is to become emotionally stable. Growing by knowing that all are entitled to passions without judgment. We must all grow generously wise. So there's your message of what Sedna's been up to. It was really about setting up a very long cycle that had to be weathered, that would reach a mirror point right now. an opportunity to start weaving yourself back into your own physical body, like there's been some kind of separation, and then feeding that loop back, bringing all the information of all of your encounters with people around you through every cell in your body to come out a maturer and more emotionally stable and generously wise Capricorn. So there's your message, Capricorn. Wassail.